Welcome to Dark Tale Delights. Thanks for listening to the stories I post, and if you like the stories, please subscribe and like the channel to help us grow. Now, enjoy the story. Eats of the Undead. Picture this, a world that's seen better days. I'm talking desolate landscape stretching as far as the eye can see, buildings standing like they're holding on for dear life, and remnants of what used to be a bustling era now just lying around like forgotten memories. And then there's us, the survivors. Society's doing the limbo under the bar of survival, trying to figure out how to dance to the tune of this new normal. It's like we got dealt a crappy hand, and now we're just trying not to fold. Humans, my friend, are the ultimate adapters. We're like the cockroaches of the apocalypse, scurrying around, trying to make the best out of a seriously messed up situation. So, yeah, that's the scene, a world that's seen better days, and humans just trying to roll with the punches. Now, imagine stumbling upon this eerie-looking mall. The kind where flickering lights play hide and seek with the shadows, and the silence is so thick you could cut it with a knife. In the heart of this creepy maze, there's a restaurant. Not your average post-apocalyptic grub spot. This joint is something else. Walk in, and you'll see a bunch of folks acting like it's the Last Supper or something. Desperate survivors, tired of scavenging for canned beans, looking for a break from the monotony of the apocalypse. And this place? Well, it's got an air of mystery, like the secret sauce in a burger you can't quite put your finger on. Now, here's the kicker, the staff. Picture this. A bunch of zombies, not your typical brain munchers, but functional, working stiffs. They're in the kitchen, chopping, sautéing, and surprisingly, not biting. Patrons, blissfully ignorant, chow down on dishes that wouldn't be out of place in a Michelin-starred joint. All the while, the undead are working their culinary magic behind the scenes. And you, my friend, you're part of this unsuspecting group, drawn in by the smell of something other than canned beans and the promise of a hot meal. Little do you know, you're about to take a bite out of something more than just a burger. So, our group of survivors, let's call them the Unlucky Crew, they waltz in, eyes wide with hunger and curiosity. The air in the joint is charged with a mix of desperation and anticipation. This isn't just a meal, it's a break from the apocalypse grind. As they sit down, exchanging weary glances, they notice something's off. Weird noises echo from the kitchen, strange smells waft through the air. But hey, when your options are canned mystery meat or potential gourmet zombie cuisine, you're willing to overlook a few oddities. Tension builds, suspense thickens. They start connecting the dots, but it's like a puzzle missing a few crucial pieces. They're intrigued by the secrecy, but little do they realize they're playing a part in a horror show that's about to unfold. Cue the eerie music because things are about to get interesting. Stay tuned for the taste of deception, my friends. It's gonna be a meal they won't forget, for all the wrong reasons. Now, let's talk about the menu. Not your usual post-apocalyptic fare of canned beans or the occasional mutant rabbit stew. No sir. This joint's got a menu that could make Gordon Ramsay do a double take. Mouth-watering dishes, flavors dancing on your taste buds like it's a culinary masterpiece. The Unlucky Crew dives into their meals, savoring every bite, oblivious to the fact that they're feasting on the creations of the undead. It's like a twisted version of Hell's Kitchen, only this time, the chefs are already dead. The patrons are loving it, blissfully ignorant of the kitchen nightmares happening behind the scenes. But then, oh then, comes the gradual revelation. Little clues dropped like breadcrumbs, leading them down a path they never wanted to tread. Weird sounds become haunting whispers, and strange smells turn into a nauseating truth. The Unlucky Crew begins to piece together the unsettling puzzle, and it's not long before they realize they're not the only ones dining at the table of the dead. Cue the uncomfortable silence as they chew on the bitter taste of deception, realizing they've been munching on more than just a fancy post-apocalyptic dish. The Unlucky Crew's eyes widen as they witness the kitchen staff in action. Zombies, not just lurking in the shadows but chopping veggies, flipping burgers, and doing the kitchen tango like it's the end of the world. Oh wait, it is the end of the world. Panic sets in. The unlucky crew tries to make a run for it, but the doors won't budge. It's like the restaurant itself is playing a cruel joke on them. Now, they're stuck in a place where the waitstaff isn't just slow, they're undead. The chaos is palpable, a cocktail of fear, confusion, and a dash of regret. The unlucky crew scrambles to escape, pushing through the dining area, navigating the maze of tables, all while the zombies in the kitchen continue their grotesque culinary ballet. Time for a flashback, my friend. Let me take you behind the curtain. The unlucky crew isn't the first group to stumble upon this restaurant of the undead. In the early days of the apocalypse, someone thought they could maintain a slice of normalcy, bring a taste of the old world back. Enter the restaurant owner, a mad scientist with a flair for the dramatic. An experiment gone wrong, turning the staff into the living dead, or rather, the working dead. The kitchen became a stage for their culinary talents, and the unsuspecting patrons, well, they became the unknowing audience. As the unlucky crew fights for survival, the restaurant owner lurks in the shadows, watching their macabre experiment unfold. It's a twisted tale of desperation, survival, and a side of fries you'll never forget. Stay tuned for the final showdown, where our survivors confront the mastermind behind this culinary nightmare. It's gonna be one hell of a meal. So here we are, knee-deep in the apocalypse, surrounded by zombies in the kitchen, and our unlucky crew trapped in a dining area that's more like a cage. They've got makeshift weapons, a broken chair leg, a frying pan, and a ladle for good measure. It's a buffet of survival instincts, and these folks are about to feast. As they navigate the dimly lit maze of tables, more zombies emerge from the shadows, hungry for a different kind of meal. The unlucky crew faces the undead onslaught, swinging, jabbing, and dodging like their lives depend on it, because, well, they do. The tension escalates, and the group starts thinning. It's survival of the fittest in a post-apocalyptic showdown. Unexpected alliances form in the chaos, and those who were once strangers become comrades in arms. But with every swing and every shuffle, the restaurant's secrets unravel, revealing a darker truth about the world they thought they knew. Now, picture this, our unlucky crew, battered and bruised, finally confronts the mastermind behind this culinary carnival of the dead. The restaurant owner steps into the spotlight, a mad scientist with a twisted sense of normalcy. Revelations spill like blood on a battlefield, and the survivors demand answers. The owner, desperate and deranged, explains the experiment gone wrong, the attempt to cling to the past in a world gone mad. It's a macabre dance of justifications, but our survivors aren't buying it. Negotiations turn into a heated standoff, and the unlucky crew faces a choice: succumb to the madness or fight for their right to a future that isn't marinated in zombie horror. Cue the climactic battle, a showdown between the living and the undead. The survivors square off against the remaining zombies and the unhinged restaurant owner, each swing of a weapon echoing the struggle for a semblance of normalcy in this apocalyptic nightmare. As the dust settles, our unlucky crew emerges from the restaurant, haunted by the horrors they witnessed. The taste of deception lingers in their mouths, and the echoes of the undead kitchen still ring in their ears. The survivors, now scarred both physically and mentally, face an uncertain future in a world that continues to unravel. They trudge through the desolate landscapes, the remnants of the bygone era now serving as a backdrop to their post-apocalyptic reality. The restaurant's macabre legacy is etched into their memories, a constant reminder that in this new world, even the most ordinary places can hide the darkest secrets. And as they venture forth, the survivors carry with them the unease of a meal that was more than just food, it was a feast of horrors served with a side of survival. The restaurant may be left behind, but its dark shadow follows them, a reminder that in the apocalypse, even a seemingly normal dinner can turn into a nightmare. So ends the tale of Eats of the Undead, a twisted journey through a world where the line between the living and the dead blurs, and the taste of deception leaves a bitter aftertaste in the mouths of those who dared to dine with the undead. As the survivors trudge through the desolate landscapes, the remnants of the bygone era serving as a haunting backdrop, they can't shake off the feeling that they've just scratched the surface of the horrors lurking in this new world. The restaurant, now a distant memory, stands as a macabre testament to the lengths people will go to cling to the past. Uneasy glances are exchanged among the unlucky crew, a silent acknowledgement that they've been forever changed by what transpired in that twisted dining establishment. The taste of deception still lingers in their mouths, a bitter reminder that in a world gone mad, trust can be as elusive as a safe haven. Night falls, casting long shadows over the desolation, and the survivors set up camp, keeping watch for any signs of the undead, both the mindless and the ones who wear a semblance of humanity. The fire crackles, but its warmth can't chase away the chill that settles in their bones. As they huddle together, haunted by the echoes of the undead kitchen and the final showdown, the survivors wonder what lies ahead. The future is uncertain, a blank canvas waiting to be painted with the brushstrokes of survival. But one thing is for sure, they can never look at a meal the same way again. The night unfolds, the stars indifferent witnesses to the tales of a world that has lost its way. The unlucky crew drifts into an uneasy sleep, each dream tainted by the horrors they've faced. In the quiet moments before dawn, when the world holds its breath, they find solace in the company of fellow survivors, a fragile bond forged in the crucible of the undead. And so, as the sun rises on another day in this post-apocalyptic landscape, the survivors gather their meager belongings and press on, leaving behind the remnants of the restaurant and the horrors that lurked within. The journey continues, the road ahead uncertain, but the unlucky crew is resilient. As they fade into the horizon, the tale of Eats of the Undead becomes a whispered legend among the survivors, a cautionary story about the thin line between normalcy and madness in a world where the dead walk and the living sometimes feast on more than they bargained for. And so, dear reader, as the story of the unlucky crew unfolds into the vast expanse of the apocalypse, remember, in a world where the dead serve the living, and secrets fester like wounds, every meal could be a dance with the macabre, and every bite, a taste of deception. The end is just another beginning in this twisted tale of survival.